Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And next is roll call.
Commissioner Clausen?
Here.
Commissioner Cox?
Here.
Commissioner Graven? Here. Commissioner Phipps?
Here.
Mayor Hall?
Yes, here. Consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. No separate discussion of these items will occur unless a council member requests the item to be removed from the consent agenda. If an item is removed from the consent agenda, it will be considered elsewhere on the agenda for this meeting. Prior to asking for a motion to approve the consent agenda, the mayor will ask if anyone desires to remove an item from the consent agenda for public discussion. Does anybody want to remove any item from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I move to approve the minutes of regular meeting of March 7th, 2023, the bills and payroll for the first half of March 2023, the home rehab check, resolution number 2023-3239, approving the continuance of a local state of emergency due to the coronavirus COVID-19. Can I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Clausen and roll call.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Graven? Yes. Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes. Petitions, petitions, and communications. This portion of the city council meeting is reserved for persons who desire to address the council. The Illinois Open Meetings Act mandates that the city council may not take action on comments received on matters that have not been identified on this agenda, but the council may direct staff to address the topic or refer the matter for action on the agenda for another meeting. Persons addressing the council are requested to limit their presentation to 3 minutes and to avoid repetitious comments. We would also ask you state your name and address for the record, as well as stand when speaking. Is there anybody that would like to come forward and make a statement before the council? That would be, okay, yes, step up forward, give us your name, any of you, all of you, if you want to. Come up and give us your names and what you'd like to talk, and where you're from, and then say what you would like to say.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. We won't take 3 minutes, but I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Brian Gillespie, my wife Diane, and we're number 2 here.
On the agenda, which we'll go to later.
With the dog daycare facility that we would like to open with your consent. So.
All right. Okay. Okay, very good. I've not had a chance to do this. It sounds like just a couple quick questions. Do you have experience in doing this kind of thing, or you just love dogs?
Well, we have business experience and we love dogs, but not together.
Okay. So you're working on that now?
We're working on that now, yeah.
Okay, good, good. So we're excited about this as an opportunity.
I'd like to hear that in the other 2, but we are as well, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's gotten some press coverage for whatever. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Any other questions anybody has? All right, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you for being there. Thank you.
And then I would like to,
Is there anybody else?
yeah, is anybody else? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, my name's Tom Wright, 116 Wabash Avenue.
Okay, Yeah.
I'm here, showing support for motion number 14 on the contract.
okay, okay, good.
And, I'm working with Jamie Pilson on this.
Okay.
Jamie's couldn't be here tonight.
Okay.
But he couldn't.
Okay,
But we're here to show support. We'd really like to see this motion pass and possibly bring another park to this community that I think would be a great asset for us.
all right.
Anybody have any questions of me, like, what is pump track?
That was going to be my question when it came up, was exactly what it
What's a
said.
pump? Shelbyville has one. Springfield has one. I've gotten to participate on the one, ride the one in Shelbyville. Best way I can explain it is, think of a very smooth asphalt track that's like a roller coaster. You got hills going through it, you got bank turns that come up through it. It's not like a BMX dirt track where you're doing jumps and everything. It's momentum that's taking you through this track. Okay, best way I've heard it explained is like swinging. If you're on a swing, feet come out, you pump your way up, then you retract and you come back. That's what's creating your momentum in the horizontal plane. In a pump track on a bicycle, you're doing the exact same thing, but you're doing it vertical plane. That gives you your momentum through the hills, through the ride. And then you hit your bank turns and come around and over, I've been over to the Shelbyville track. I've seen, well, I was there, so you take my age as the top of it. And there were all the way through the age groups. I saw mothers with like 6-year-olds that have the little push bikes on this thing. And the little 6-year-old, it just amazed me. The little 6-year-old went, Mommy, can I do one more? You know, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun to do.
So is it asphalt or concrete? It's not dirt? Okay, it's not dirt, right?
Pardon?
Okay, it's not dirt,
It's not, no, it's not dirt. It's not your BMX where you see them doing those big jumps and going sideways and all
Cartoon.
that. It's not that at all. It's more like the skateboard part of it.
I like that, okay.
But that's asphalt. This would be asphalt. No,
That's concrete.
it's concrete.
Yeah.
This would be asphalt.
Great.
What size of an area are we looking at?
Okay, we're looking at site of the city land that is Richmond Avenue and 10th Street. So it's basically due west of the Roundhouse
They're on
complex.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah. Basically, that whole area there
Where you
at
got,
the corner of 10th and Richmond.
That-
Kind of- It'll take up that whole area.
About 75% of it.
where you pile snow?
Track is gonna take up the southeast half of it.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Of the block.
There are some components that may go along with the grant application to use more of it. But I was putting out a picture there about what.
I've got a picture here.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a picture.
I do have a
in the
picture if I
packet.
can pass.
yeah, but it,
You want to see it?
that's kind of, yeah.
And so
But basically-
in the northwest corner is where Darren's body.
Right.
Yeah.
And yes, it is
Pile of snow.
hard to let that hobby.
Yeah.
Sandy, you can go to the Shelbyville pump track and you can see it's got live video. You can see it and get a better feel of what it's all about.
You can go to online on the YouTube. If you ever go on YouTube, just search Pump Track USA. Kinds of videos out there showing this pump track. It's becoming, it's an Olympic sport. I didn't realize it. I'm new to this sport, pump track. But Pump Track USA, actually, the company that would like to have build our pump track, built Olympic venues. And Red Bull has competitions on these things. It's quite a workout too. I use bicycle riding as my exercise, and these pump tracks, you get a good workout of them. I mean, it's not just like pedaling around and going wee, wee. It's much more than that. But it doesn't take a big skill level to do it. I mean, these kids that are down there doing the skateboard, you know, I see them and I'm like, they do hours of practice to do that. This is not like that at all. Once you get the feel of the momentum and how to make the bicycle go over the hill and you're actually accelerating through the hills to get to the turns, and you wind back at a higher place, and you rarely do you even pedal. It's all a momentum. Yeah.
Very good.
Wow.
Great.
I think it's a big asset. Yeah, the site, I hope, you know, if there's, that shouldn't be an issue getting that site because it works out perfect. in my opinion, you've got the Roundhouse complex right there. You know, he pointed out to me, he'd love to see kids playing baseball and then looking over and seeing kids playing on the top. You know?
Yeah.
We've got parking there. It all fits in. It all.
Very good.
Any other questions anybody has? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Anybody online have any comments that want to be made? Okay, I just have a real quick statement to make. I wanted to recognize or acknowledge the retirement of Officer Jeff Standard for 18 years of service with the City of Mattoon Police Department on today's date. And I think he purchased a couple years also to get out, it's 20 years in. Sam, would you like to add anything else to that?
He won't be with us tonight. He's already purchased property in Kentucky. So, but yeah, he was an FTO for us, a hostage negotiator, and spent many years on the bargaining committee. And happy for him to move along to what he's doing now.
Very good. Okay. Any other comments anybody wants to make? All right, we're going to go on to new business. And I'll make the first motion. I move to adopt ordinance number 2023-5462, approving and causing publication of the official zoning map of the city of Mattoon, Illinois. Can I have a second to that motion?
I'll second it, Mayor.
Commissioner Phipps, and any comments or questions?
Just by state law, we're supposed to update the map every March or by March 30th of every year. So we just take what new rezonings we did over the past year, any annexations, and we update the map, and you guys approve it, make it official tonight.
Okay. So, roll call then.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Graven?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes. I move to adopt ordinance number 2023-1853, granting a variance and approving the rezoning of 100 Moultrie Avenue from R1 Single Family to C4 General Commercial District for the construction of a dog daycare facility. Petitioners Brian and Diane Gillespie, 060-02684-000 and 06-0-02680-000. And can I have a second to that motion?
I got a question before you do that. Should that include the DeWitt property as well?
That-
Since there's two different
That does.
addresses?
That's why it has the two parcels on there. Yes.
Parcel 1, parcel 2.
So it is 100 Moultrie is the address of the building, but there is two parcels. There's actually 8 lots there. There's 4 lots on DeWitt side and 4 lots on the Moultrie side. So those two different parcels, one parcel is south on the Moultrie side, one parcel is the DeWitt side.
But the petition says both addresses, so I don't know if, I didn't know if,
Oh, you
point of
mean,
order, if they needed to be, if they matched, number one. And then number two, the petitioners, they don't have to be the owners of the property,
correct.
or should
They
the
have to
owners
have
be
permission.
listed?
They have to have permission from the owners to do that. Yes. Yeah.
If I know,
Yeah.
if you have that permission. In fact, I was initially approached by and I'm sorry, Blue Bill Saban Nelson and Wade walked away here. I was approached by the owner who helped the Gillespie's get the variance so they could put the dog daycare. So it is on behalf of the owner, although the benefit, of course, is to the Gillespie's so that they can bring their business.
Sure. And is that stated in, I haven't looked at the detail on it yet, but is it stated in the petition then that they approve of that?
I don't believe it explicitly set forth anything with regard to that. It was just,
It does, well, the amended petition does says comes the petitioner Washington Savings, which is the
Right.
trustee for the land trust.
was actually the
Okay.
petition, but so the Gillespie's, of course,
Yeah.
over here because if you had any question. So.
So then does that need amended to say the petitioners are actually the Washington Savings? I guess that's.
It doesn't hurt
Dan.
if we do that.
Okay.
We can clean it up.
Yep, we can add the 101 DeWitt Avenue and petitioners is Washington Savings and
Sure.
So do we want to then,
amend the motion.
so under petitioners, it's going to say Washington Savings and Brian and Diane Gillespie?
Yeah, Washington Savings Land Trust, and do we have that number? I'm in front of
8254.
8254.
So now we actually need to approve the
We
change.
haven't,
Someone needs to make a motion to amend that.
well, okay.
Need a second first. Okay, so
I'll second
you'll
it.
second that?
Yeah.
Okay. And any further discussion on this other than your comment?
We need to make an amended
Okay.
motion. Someone needs to make the amended motion.
Sammy, are you seconding the original motion?
Original motion.
Yeah, because that was never seconded.
No,
right?
it was not.
Okay.
Thank- So I need a motion and a second to amend it to read, the petitioner is Washington State Land Trust, blah, 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 and Gillespie's, blah, blah, blah. And if you want another address on there,
101 DeWitt Avenue.
I can make that motion, right?
okay?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
I'll make that motion to amend that. And then we need a second on that one.
correct.
Second on that one?
I'll second.
Okay.
Amended. Sorry.
Commissioner, Raven. And now we're ready to vote on the
Amendment.
amendment. So
We have discussions, right?
Well,
What's that?
discussion.
any discussion on that item?
On this whole ordinance item?
Yeah, we can discuss the whole thing.
Yeah.
This property has been, back in 2014, this property was zoned C4. At that time in 2014, we had a lot of industrial and a lot of heavy commercial all over Mattoon. We've tried to take properties back down to what they were being used as. So we originally asked for 1,100 parcels to be rezoned inside the city limits. I think we had a couple public hearings. We had owners that did not want certain areas rezoned. They wanted to keep their commercial or for certain reasons. I think we ended up probably around 900 to 1,000 parcels that we did rezone to really what they were being used at the time. And this was being used as a daycare, which allowed it to be an R1. So we had down zoned it to R1. There is a couple lots to the east or to the west of this on DeWitt side that are C4. There's a church and a trailer that's C4. The property to the north across DeWitt, C4. The property to the east across First Street is C4 along DeWitt. Most of it on Moultrie is now moved to R1 because that's what most of it's used as. But again, prior to 2014, the whole Grant Park Place area was C4. You know, from 6th to Logan, from DeWitt to Shelby was all C4 prior to we made those changes in 2015. So now it's hit and miss blocks that are commercial, different types of commercial and residential, based on what their uses are. You know, they come to us to be able to have overnight storage or overnight stays for dogs. It's a boarding house, which requires a C4 zoning. So that was why they came to us. We said if you're going to have overnight stays, it would have to be C4, and that's what prompted the rezoning.
And there were no objections on March 14 at the zoning board?
Correct. No objections on March 14th. We also had a hearing about a month before that where we realized only half of the property was listed in the petition. So we had two public hearings. No objectors at either hearing. That's all I have unless you have any other questions.
Any other comments?
I'd like to make a comment. One, I'd like to thank the Gillespies for being here this evening, and I sincerely appreciate your initiative and your effort, because these are projects in my mind that I think really benefit and build a community. And the reason I say that is because some of the things that have taken place previously, right? Some of the things that we have here already. We have Mars Pet Care, which obviously is huge in the pet business and a big part of our community, big employer. We've created the Mattoon Community Dog Park and opened just last year. I think there was a little bit of, I want to say skepticism, but I think there was a lot of unknowns that people thought, what are we going to do with a dog park? What is a dog park? It has been unbelievably well received in this community, right? Just a couple of blocks to the south of where your location will be. When you have projects, they build other projects. When you have opportunities, they build other opportunities. I think this is a private business, economic development that's needed. I wish you the best of luck. I think you're going to do well. At least the opportunity is there. I think because the service that you will provide is needed, and probably there's a need for it. There's not that much overnight stays. So I think it's a great opportunity for economic development and to build the community. This is not the official, but it's dog-friendly community designation.
Better City for Pets.
Better City for Pets goes right in hand with that. I think it's only going to add to that. So I think it's an exciting initiative, and I wish you the best of luck.
Okay. Any other discussion? Yes.
Great project. I think it's very much needed for the community. We don't have anything like that here, and it's really, especially as a dog owner, we need to find people to take care of our dog when we go out of town. So I love it. Just a quick question. Did you enter into a lease for the entire parcel?
Maybe Mr. White can answer that.
That's the intention, but there's been no signed lease until we know whether the council's going to approve this. Neither party wanted to be held into something, but that's the intention, is to do the entire
property.
I believe the Gillespie kind of discussed that. And as Mr. Gill suggested, we've actually had 2 planning commission meetings on this.
Yeah.
And at the first one, the Gillespies discussed in more detail the project, and they're probably going to need that space because the idea is, you don't want Chihuahuas and Mastiffs in the same pen together. And so there'll be different sections for different size dogs, perhaps different temperaments, stuff like that. So the idea is a lot of separation there to make sure that everything goes accordingly, and as a result, they're going to need that space.
It might be worth noting, there were 2 separate studies done by Apartments.com and the Humane Society. The Humane Society found that 70% and Apartments.com found 71% of all homeowners in the U.S. have pets. So, if we're not providing those services for, folks to be able to take care of their animals, we might be excluding growth within our community. So it's just worth noting that.
And I went by the building today, and in fact, I had not met you two. And so I was there. I thought, okay, this is the proposed tenant. But they put a new roof on, like in one day. So that building has already been upgraded. And I think it's going to be a wonderful look for that area. And I kind of echo some things that Dave was saying about how one project leads to another. So.
Okay. Any other comments anybody has?
We got to vote on the amendment first.
Correct.
Okay, we're going to have roll call for the amendment.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Graven.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. And now we vote on the motion itself,
The amended motion.
the amended motion. Okay.
Commissioner Graven.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
I abstain.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Okay. And let's see, I think Commissioner Phipps, you're up.
Maybe.
It's me. Make, yeah, good job. Make a motion to adopt special ordinance 2023-1854, authorizing the purchase of a permanent water main easement in the amount of $6,300 from First Mid Bank and Trust 92108 for the construction of a 6-inch water main located on the northwest corner of the intersection of US 45 and Coles County Road 1100 North. Do I need to include the parcel 04-0-00979-000?
Okay, and a second on that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Cox, and any comments or questions?
I'll just say this is catty corner to the former LFD Donnelly's facility. Used to be a city well fields there for water. Probably our most troublesome water main, Route 45. North of town, this is the very northeast of it, where we stop and meet Humboldt's water meter, and they take. And this is the first in a multi-year series of projects. We're on our way back towards that.
Okay, any other comments or questions? If none, we will have roll call.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Mr. Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Raven,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to adopt resolution number 2023-3240, rescinding the sale of real estate to Coles County Habitat for Humanity located in the 1000 block of Richmond Avenue and authorizing the reimbursement of expenses incurred by Coles County Habitat for Humanity due to an inability to provide a clear title.
And a second on that motion.
No, second it.
Commissioner Phipps, and some comments anybody has?
Again, this property is where the pump track is going to go. We, many years ago, more than 10 years ago, authorized the sale to Habitat for Humanity of Coles County. We were never able to get clear title because this was old abandoned railroad property and could never get everything totally worked out. So we've talked to Habitat. They said, hey, we understand this probably is not going to happen. They did ask if we would, reimburse them up to any expenditures that they had proceed documents that they've tried to get this resolved as well. And this is just, authorizing, taking it back and then reimbursing them for those fees.
In my opinion, it solves a little bit of a problem for us because the title to that, we're putting it in park now.
Yeah.
And probably we're not going to change that, at least in the foreseeable future. So we've kind of fought that battle on that property ownership and whether we could sell it or not. So I think this puts it back into good use, I think. So with that said, if there are no other questions, roll call.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Raven,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
I make a motion to approve council decision request 2023-2332, ratifying the appointment of Jim Wolf to the Tourism Board with an unexpired term to 9/1/23.
And a second on that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Clausen, and any comments anybody has on that?
And this, Don Friesmeyer, he'll replace Don, correct? Is that?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're losing a Cardinal fan, gaining a Cub fan, so we're +2.
You want to look at it that way? That's fine.
Take any way we can get it. No.
Okay.
Jim's been active in the community for years in different regards, and he'll do a nice job. And
Everybody
happy to have him aboard.
thoughts. Commissioner Clausen.
Strike
Okay,
that
so
for a minute.
roll call.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Raven,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. I move to approve council decision request 2023-2333, approving the purchase of a new iRecord Universal IP Turnpike recording system in the amount of $36,297 from WSI Technologies. Can I have a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Cox, and a little bit of discussion. Anybody comments about that? Sam?
So iRecord is nothing new. It's something we've used for years and years. It is a backend server for all of the interview rooms at the PD that houses all those recordings. And with that backend server comes new cameras and lines that they run and things of that nature. The one we currently have is at its end of life.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll
Just
call.
because I'm curious, what is the life span of equipment like that? And I know that probably differentiates. This will probably be different than the current one that we have because technology changes, but.
As long as they should be, if you ask me.
Right.
But I think this one, well, I was still a detective. I'm going to say it was about 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That's a pretty long time for technology, really. So, okay. Just curious.
Now roll call.
Commissioner Graven,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2023-2334, approving the cost proposal in the amount of $50,000 from Crawford, Murphy, and Tilley for the preparation of an IEPA low-interest loan program application for the replacement of the lime feed system equipment at the water treatment plant and authorizing the mayor to sign the 2023 standard agreement for professional services.
A second on that one?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Phipps, and comments.
Not unless there's any question.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Raven.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
I make motion to approve council decision request 2023-2335, approving a proposal from Roth and Company for auditing services in connection with the April 30th, 2023, April 30th, 2024, April 30th, 2025 financial statements, and authorizing the mayor to sign all necessary documents to initiate the audit.
And a second on that motion.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Phipps, any comments? Anybody? Beth, Sandy?
Dorian advised us that they couldn't do the 23 audit. I got a quote from one firm, which was high, and then I did an RFP, and I sent out four submissions, and one came back. But the price was much better than the other quote I had. I think it was $92,000
Okay.
the first year.
Beth, kind of late, we didn't find out that we had needed to get someone appointed right away, but will this delay the audit results any, do you think? Should not. Okay.
They have provided a timetable, and they estimated an October report.
Okay, good deal.
Good.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Graven.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. I move to approve council decision request 2023-2336, approving the purchase of 12 law enforcement solar-powered and LET license plate recognition cameras with vehicle fingerprint technology software in the amount of $69,000 over 2 years from Flock Safety. Do you have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, and any comments anybody has?
So this is one I'm most excited about. This is where law enforcement technology has brought us. Don't think of these as surveillance cameras because they're not. They're data collection tools, and they never stop collecting data, sending it to us. They do take snapshots, but they're pulling those license plates. Every car that passes, it's proactive and reactive. Something happens in an area, Cracker Barrel gets robbed, and we know that the car went east on Route 16. We go straight to that LPR on Swords Drive, and we're able to capture between this time. These are the plates that went through here. Proactive. Our officers will get an alert on their cell phones 3 seconds after a stolen car runs through a point, a wanted person, someone who had just committed a crime in, let's say, Decatur, and they log it into their flock system that be on the lookout for this plate, wanted for a homicide or whatever, the officers get those notifications within seconds. Charleston PD beat us to the punch on this one, but it was an hour maybe after they had theirs installed that they got their first arrest. It was a hit on a stolen vehicle. But they're really, really neat and a big advantage for law enforcement agencies.
Amber Alert plates too.
What's that?
Amber Alert.
Oh, yes. Amber Alert, sex offenders. It uses the FBI, which is NCIC, so you get national hits. It uses Illinois state leads. So Illinois hits. It uses Secretary of State. And there's another one that I can't remember right now, but you get all kinds of hits. One that and he was sharing with myself and the mayor today when we talked to him is if you have, say, an elderly person from somewhere who someone has put in that they're confused, they may need some help, and they've wandered out, and you get a hit on that plate. So it's missing juveniles. It's unlimited, basically, as to what these things can pull, and just the time that they are able to alert officers is just unbelievable. I mean, within 3 seconds. Actually, if this passes, I'm going to be going to local businesses as well. Walmart buys into these typically whenever the municipality does. Car dealerships, they're a big plus for a lot of businesses for the price. And of course, they want to put them on their private property, but it will help. Something happens at Pilson's, we're able to pull the cameras that they have on their personal property and get those plates. So really, really excited about it.
Nice. That's exciting.
Just another comment, being on the Crime Stoppers Board, talking with Charleston PD. It's also can be a deterrent for criminals if they know that cities have these flock cameras, they have a tendency to stay away. So I figured if Charleston had it, Oakland and the county had it, then they would be coming to Mattoon, so.
And that's a good point. In this area, and I know they talked about this, everyone right now is buying into these. Charleston obviously had them. The state police is putting a couple up on the interstate. Oakland, Ashmore, Coles County has bought into them. The airport just added 2. So it's really growing.
Champagne's had them for a couple of years. Decatur's had them for about a year, I think, so.
Yep, Champaign solved a shooting that they had just recently with one of theirs.
Any other questions or comments? If none, roll call.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Craven?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
These next two motions, half will come out of the water fund and half will come out of the sewer fund. A motion to approve council decision request 2023-2337, accepting the proposal of $77,287.99 from Bobcat of Effingham for the purchase of a mini excavator to be used by the street department, and authorizing the mayor to sign the product quote.
And can I have a second to that, please?
Second.
Commissioner Cox, any comments? None? Any questions anybody has? All right, roll call.
Commissioner Craven?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
I make a motion to approve council decision request 2023-2338, accepting the proposal of $65,200 from Martin Equipment for the purchase of a Wacker-Neuson RD 28120C asphalt tandem roller for the street department, and authorizing the mayor to sign the quotation.
And a second on that motion?
I'll second.
I'll give that one to Commissioner Clausen. It's a tie, by decision. And any questions?
I could try and make this, but I can't follow.
Here's a chance for you, dude. You know, if you want to sound good here.
Okay.
All right, so then roll call.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Craven?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
I move to approve council decision request 2023-2339, approving a $17,000 grant by the Tourism Advisory Committee from FY 22-23 Hotel Motel Tax Funds to the Mattoon Pride Athletics in support of the Spring Splatter Invite on April 29th, Swing for the Rings on June 2nd through the 4th, Midsummer Extreme Tourney on June 30th through July 2nd, Mattoon Bagel Fest Tourney on July 21 through the 23rd, and Mattoon Pride Showcase on October 14th and 15th, 2023, and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement.
Can I have a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Phipps? And any questions on that? Any comments, Angelia?
Sam, Maxine as well. We had some really exciting conversation with both the Progress and the Pride this year about what have been some concerns about smaller tournaments, maybe not as many people playing softball and baseball. And the conversations we had this last week were really positive about growth, about we see that the Pride is now expanding to athletics and not just softball. So some really good stuff happening with two of our heavy hitters for events.
Very good. Any other comments or questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Graven.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
I move to approve council decision request 2023-2340, approving a $15,000 grant by the Tourism Advisory Committee from FY 22-23 Hotel Motel Tax Funds to the Mattoon Cobra Softball in support of the Mother's Day Tourney on May 12th to the 14th, USSSA Schools Out Blowout on June 2nd through the 4th, the USSSA State Tourney on June 16th through the 18th, and the Donnie Howe Fall Classic College Showcase on October 7th and 8th, 2023, and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement.
Can I have a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Phipps? And any comments anybody has? None? I'd like to just compliment Commissioner Phipps on both of those motions. Those are kind of tongue twisters, you know, a lot of that. So you handle.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did I say Phipps?
Yeah.
Both,
Thanks for being there for me, Dave.
You bet.
Yeah.
I was looking at you. I don't know his name.
Both days.
Yeah. See, Dave,
You
just-
pick on me. Okay.
All right. So,
And it was a tongue twister, so thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that.
all right. Roll call.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Graven.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Did you want to answer that again?
No, go ahead.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
I move to approve council decision request 2023-2341, authorizing the mayor to apply for grants to establish a community bicycle pump track and garden, and authorizing a city match of $34,000 towards the project with the matching funds to remain available for a period of 9 months.
And a second on that motion.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Phipps?
Phipps, yes.
All right. And any comments anybody has on that one?
Do we have any idea on time frame on when the grants would be applied for or heard back from?
Yeah, so we're applying for the grant at the end of this month. So basically, the project itself, as it currently is $168,000. But to develop that space into a pump track on 10th and Richmond. And so the grant that they're applying for is the Kubota Route Program. It's a private grant, no reporting requirements, anything like that, pretty simple. So that's for $100,000. So as you can see in your support letters that I put out there, the bike committee got those letters of support, and so we've secured a $34,000 donation from a private company. And so this would match that and create the full effect of the funding. So essentially, we apply for that. If we don't get it, that's why we requested the 9 months, so that we could continue to search for other grants or raise donations within the community to meet that 100,000 that we would need.
So do we have an idea on time frame when the Kubota grant would be announced?
We should find out sometime in April or May of them, and then
So not too
the
long.
ones in August.
Great, thank you.
So are we talking about a project that would be finished next year, or would it be utilized potentially this year?
So it goes hand in hand with the bike trail extension, which I believe correct me if I'm wrong, is going to be completed on October 31st, ideally. Yeah, so it'll go hand in hand with that because, summer's the best time to build. And so, the garden aspect of that, though, as you can see in the other letters of support, really just is probably going to take place next year. But
Because there's some landscape with this project and several things, really, isn't there? More than just the track and just,
oh yeah, a lot more. There's a lot of community support, as you can see.
okay, sounds good.
The city's match would also come out of the Broadway East TIF district, so.
Good. All right, so roll call then.
Mr. Graven.
Yes.
Mr. Fitz.
Yes.
Richard Clausen.
Yes.
Mr. Cox.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Department reports, starting with City Administrator Kyle Gill.
Just been working with department heads on several different items in the budgets, some of the CDRs and council ordinances that were on tonight. Jeff and I had a couple interviews today on the ambulance billing position. Just been busy. Alex and I have worked on several of the projects on different subdivisions and different ordinances that we're on for tonight. So it's just continued to be a busy time, and I'll open that up for any questions that you guys have for us, for me.
Any questions? If none, City Attorney Dan Jones.
Been business as usual for me. I think I circulated to everybody the decision we got from the Illinois Liquor Commission, Control Commission on the Rob Perry liquor license. The commission has voted to affirm the decision to revoke the license. So Rob now has 30 days to appeal that decision to the circuit court. I think he's got a tough burden to prove there, but he bought himself a couple weeks with his last petition, but that's final at the commission level now. I'm happy to talk about it.
Anybody else have any questions for Dan? Okay, hearing none, City Clerk Susan O'Brien.
Just preparing for the insurance premium rates and business as usual.
Okay, questions? Next is Finance, Beth Wright.
So I distributed the February financial report, the general fund, the 10 months ended February 28th. Revenues were 22.7 million, expenditures at 18.9. So year-to-date surplus of 3.8 million. The revenues, you'll see the percentage of budget is 98.81%. So almost revenues are way ahead. Budget and expenditures are right at 10 months at 82.85%. Cash position citywide at the end of February, 25.6 million versus 24.9 at the end of January. I have the revenue tracking spreadsheet. So the items that are new since our last meeting are in use tax, sales tax, telecommunications tax. So year to date, compared to the year prior, at this point in time, we had just over $1 million. I updated the sales tax by SIC code for the fourth quarter of 2022 and for the 12 months ended December 31st. These figures are on a calendar year versus a fiscal year that we use, but, and this is just the 1%. And it's not the additional 0.5% that we share with the Capital Projects Fund. So for the calendar year, sales tax was relatively flat between 21 and 2022. There are some areas of variance, automotive and filling stations down in 2022 over 2021. I don't know if that's supply chain issues there or gasoline sales. And then lastly, I have the unrestricted cash in the general fund. As of today, just over $12.1 million. And at our meeting 2 weeks ago was 11.6. And that's all I have to report.
Any questions for Ben? All right, Public Works, Dean Barber.
Nothing for me this evening unless there's any questions.
Questions? All right, hearing none, we go to Fire Chief Jeff Hilligoss.
Thank you, Mayor. Since the last meeting, the guys have answered 57 calls for service. Inspectors have done 3 inspections and follow-ups. This time of year is a lot of our mandatory EMS training. That's kind of why the inspectors have not been out like they normally are, because they've got the mandatory bloodborne pathogens, ACLS, that type of training that everybody's doing. They also did size up training, sizing up different buildings in town, and then they did walkthroughs at the Blue Cross Blue Shield and the Hilton Garden Inn the last couple of weeks. I've been in several different meetings the last couple of weeks. Our dispatch is up and going. There's a lot of little hiccups that have come with the new product. A lot of them are user errors, just us, everybody trying to get familiar with it. So I've been in several meetings with that. We've got this new CESA, the mental health law that is going to be going into effect in July. Have had several meetings over that. We got another one tomorrow. So just, and then trying to keep us updated with our billing, which has been, anyway.
Challenging.
Very, yes. Good work. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very challenging, to say the least. So, but as Kyle said, we did have a couple interviews today. So hopefully that's just a short-term product. So that's all I've got unless anybody's got any questions for me.
Okay.
Do appreciate your efforts on that, Chief. I know that's put a burden, so to speak, on you and everything. It's
Yeah, I told Kyle that in the 3 years I've been in this position, this last week, I have never felt overwhelmed like I have this week. It's been daunting.
yeah, I'm sure, but
we'll get through it.
we will, but do appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
On there.
Next is Police Chief Sam Gaines.
So with the new Tyler Tech suite that he spoke about a little bit, I did learn how to run the numbers. I think something's a little off. It's showing us just under 800, which is Christmas time numbers, not typically this time of year. I kind of confirmed that when I ran the arrest, it showed 16. However, I hand counted 41. So there are some hiccups with the new system, and we'll keep working on it to try and get back to provide some adequate numbers.
Any questions for Sam? Arts and Tourism, Angelia Begrat.
We know that the Garden Fest registration is out in the world. Just a reminder, we facilitate the back end Garden Fest in our office, and it happens at Michael Park, and Jessica Grady takes it from there day of. So it's a good partnership. And any monies we collect is going to market it. And we announced our Fest, Return of the Bagel, which is going to start everything. I think it's a good review, so to speak, on Facebook. People seem to enjoy that idea. We've got some really cool shirts. Yet. Our tickets go on sale April 3rd, and also for May 13th, which is when Garden Fest is as well, is our artworks, and we already have 18 vendors signed up.
Good. Any questions for Angelia? And Community Development, Alex Minishek.
Thank you all for passing the number 14 on there. I was hoping really quick after this meeting just to get like 5 seconds of footage of just saying we support this project for a video I'm working on for the grant. So if you could stick around for that, that'd be great. Basically, mostly working on the pump track grant, getting everything in line. We have a potential for a Chick-fil-A that's kind of sent in some, plans in here. So interesting, but not sure. Outside of that, we applied for $225,000 of community development block grant funding from Congressman Bose's office. And I was able to secure a private match of that same amount from an anonymous donor to basically develop a home rehab program for facades. Kind of used a couple of connections I have in home to, learn from their program and see how we can implement that here. So that's basically, $10,000 grants to low to moderate income folks for repairing the facades of their homes. So it could be porches, siding, paint, roofs, windows, things like that. So we should hear back in about a month or two if we got the grant. Really exciting, and that's pretty much it for me.
Okay, awesome. Any questions for Alex? All right, now we go to comments by the council, starting with Commissioner Lawson.
Couple of quick things. Met with Kirk Stretch, and we're getting, he's already started work on ball fields. So obviously, this week's going to knock a lot of games out, but he's already into that. And then working with Kyle on the development of the pickleball courts at Peterson Park. So it's kind of our main project right now to get that accomplished, hopefully by June 1, 15 or so. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay. And next, Commissioner Cox.
Nothing really other than just a thought that we continue to see periodically. There's just a lot of exciting things that are happening. They're spread out maybe every few weeks, every couple of months, but there's new projects, new businesses coming into town, springing up, and so sometimes they in its entirety kind of gets maybe lost. But there's some exciting things happening, and I'm just excited about the present and the future here in Mattoon. So that's it. Thank you.
Next is Commissioner Graven.
I have nothing, Mayor.
Commissioner Phipps.
I just want to clarify on those cameras. When Commissioner Clausen
There we go.
runs the red light, you're not going to get an alert 3 seconds later?
We've already got his plate in.
Okay. Just wanted to verify.
Is this
Well,
a problem we don't know about?
first of all, I will probably be on a bicycle at the pump track, right? Is there an age limit on that?
I want a video of that.
I am not going on that. Take my granddaughters there from the turn loose.
Glad to see the Obers and Prides are doing
Yes.
well in
Sure,
their terms.
Clausen's could do that, couldn't he? You would know. He could do this.
Yeah.
We're going to want him to do it too.
Yeah, we're going to do that. We want this on Facebook and any other. We want the cameras there.
Do you have any idea
It's a
what
punching bag.
ACL surgery would look like? Just throwing it out there.
But glad to see the
Yeah.
Pride and the Cobra is doing well. And it's nice to see the Pride expanding to not just the softball, but the other sports. This is their 30th anniversary. They've been around 30 years, so it's good to see them kind of renew and kind of exciting. That's all I have.
Okay, last but not least, last meeting, I didn't make any comments and people seemed disappointed by that. So, here we go, Sandy. So,
I make a motion to adjourn.
respect. We can't adjourn yet. So anyway, been working on some housing projects. There's a ribbon cutting coming up at Neiman Foods, previously known as County Market. That's on Thursday at noon, this Thursday. We've got a couple of things that we're going to be voting on soon on our sports complex in our council meeting to continue that effort. I did return from, returned from a volleyball tournament in Indianapolis this last weekend, and these numbers they shocked me. But it's an indication of how this age group and this kind of sports things has an impact, and it's going to have an impact on us. But I attended volleyball tournaments where they had 138 courts going on at once. 38,000 people were there for 3 days. Every team played 8. They're guaranteed 7 games, but you could go up only to 8. But I've never seen so many people in so many courts in my life. Mm-hmm. Now, we're not going to have that many courts, but we're a feed to major tournaments like that. So people are spending money and people are traveling to do those kind of things. Mm-hmm. So let's see. I think that is it. So now the next thing we got coming up here is we need a recess to close session. So I'll make a motion, we recess to closed session pursuant to Illinois Open Meetings Act for the purpose of the discussion of the appointment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the city or legal counsel for the city under 5 ILCS 122C1. And can I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Second? And we don't have comments. Roll call.
Mr. Phipps.
Yes.
Mr. Clausen.
Yes.
Mr. Cox.
Yes.
Mr. Graven.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes, and just so everybody knows, we're going to go into closed session. I don't know how long we're going to be out. We're not taking any action. Or I don't think we're taking any action after closed session. So you can stick around if you want, but we'll be out there in somewhere between 5 minutes and 2 or 3 hours.
Well, it usually works.
Very good.
Yeah, okay?
At this time, I will mute and pause the recording. We are back.
You're back, okay.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second, anybody?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mr. Clausen.
Yes.
Mr. Cox.
Yes.
Mr. Graven.
No.
Mr. Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
That concludes the meeting. Thank you.
Okay.
Good meeting, Mayor.